Motorhead Garage, the program that each week introduces you to and shows you how to install the latest in exciting and innovative products for your vehicle. Now here's your host, Dave Dobson.
Motorhead Garage is presented by DragonfireTools.com, and we are coming at you from the Campbell's Custom Care Studio. Now, Motorheads, I know you love playing in the great outdoors. That means you have all kinds of great toys, kayaks and bikes and that sort of thing. But as you know, getting it up on the roof can be a big hassle. If you don't have a pickup truck or a trailer, this is what you're left with. Now, Drazen, you've been a kayaker for your whole life. What's the big problem with putting a kayak up on the roof when you're done kayaking?
Well, you're kayaking all day. You're obviously heavy. You've been paddling all day, 5-10 miles. Lifting a 50-60 pound kayak on your top of your roof can be difficult. The car roof varies. Some are higher, some are lower. But it's not only is it hard, it's unsafe. And
you can be in uneven ground, and you can be in all kinds of conditions and everything.
Exactly.
So it's not a great idea to be doing that, especially at the end of a hard day.
Right.
And so at TOOENJOY, you guys have built the elevating roof rack here. We'll talk about the elevating part in a second here. First of all, let's talk about the roof rack itself. How's it constructed, and how's it hold all your goodies?
Well, constructed of steel and aluminum. It's got a gas strut that helps you with the lifting mechanism. All of the assembly parts are 5mm hex, and it's meant to take a beating.
Well, let's see. It's called the elevating roof rack for a reason. This is what sells this thing. This is amazing. Check this out. Simple as this to bring it down, and you can bring everything down to your own level, put everything on the rack, and put it back up. Now, the process of putting back up is just as easy here. You've got a lock back here on each side, and really it's just fingertips at that point.
Exactly.
So that's exactly the way you want to be doing this at the end of a hard day here. You said it's made to take a beating. How much weight can this thing hold?
Capacity of 100 pounds.
All right, and it's tremendously versatile.
Yes.
You've got a bike on here, we've got a kayak. What other things can folks put on here?
Your home improvement goods. You can put your ladders up there, your lumber, your 2x4s, your snowboards, your skis, really anything within that 100-pound limit that can be mounted with the weight distribution to be level in the center.
Once you have your crossbars on, it's super easy to put these things up. How does it work?
So you have the base, which it has T-slots in it. Simply release these tabs on the crossbars itself. T-slots slide in. You're going to tighten them down from there. After that, the rack itself is slid into the tracks.
Everything about this is super easy, including the assembly here. You're going to get it in a box like this, and folks that may be a little squeamish about putting something together, how easy is it for them to put this thing together and get it ready to go?
Really requires minimal experience. It's simply using a 5mm hex, about 20 screws or so, about 6 or 7 parts that you put together.
It's easy as that. Now, you also sell the crossbars. You guys make a really good crossbar here. Really easy to put on. I've got ones that I wrestle with every time I put my rooftop carrier on. How do the crossbars work from TOOENJOY?
Very simple. Aluminum construction, T-slots. We love the T-slot construction. It just makes it so versatile and compatible with other brands. And the clamps themselves are very simple. Also using a 5mm hex, 1 screw clamps everything down, tightens everything up.
So effortless. And of course you have the stops that come with it, so depending on what you're putting up there, you may need the stops to keep it from laying down.
Right.
But that's not all you guys do at TOOENJOY. To get to your stuff on the roof, once it's up there, maybe a rooftop carrier, maybe your lumber, you've got to get down or something like that. You guys have a little step here.
Yeah, so it's our door jamb step, and very convenient, very simple. You know, the competitors have similar products, but they're not adjustable like this one. You know, your door jamb is going to be at different angles. This has, I believe, 5 different settings. So depending on your car, you might want to adjust it. That way you're safe and you're standing at most level ground as possible.
I think you hit the key word there, safety, because
right.
I have used little step ladders, I've used little stools. I've tried to just climb up on the car itself, and I've slipped and made a fool of myself, and I found out why most accidents happen in the home or near the home. So, of course, with TOOENJOY, anything that uses the T-slot can go up on the roof there, including your elevating roof rack. What else can I put up there on my crossbars?
We do have a carrier basket that goes onto the crossbars.
Excellent. And then you've got a lot of stuff coming. You're always innovating at TOOENJOY.
Yeah, so we actually make it a point that every year we try to come up with a new product, and soon we're going to have the rear hitch mount bike carrier along with a rooftop bike carrier that's going to be compatible with our elevating roof rack.
If you love the great outdoors, if you've got to throw stuff on the roof, there's only one way to do it. It's the elevating roof rack, and all these products from TOOENJOY. You can find them at TOOENJOYmall.com. We will return with more Motorhead Garage presented by DragonfireTools.com right after this. Keep it right here.
Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonfireTools.com, is brought to you by RockAuto.com. All the parts your car will ever need. Campbell's CustomCare.com, home of the Dawn Detail Spray. And by PaintedAutoBodyParts.com, the leading U.S. auto body parts online store.
You are cruising along with Motorhead Garage presented by DragonfireTools.com. Now, Motorheads, if you have a hot rod or maybe you race on the strip or on the circle track, you want to listen up because I've got a way for you to get more horsepower. Chris Straub is here from Straub Technologies. What'd you bring for us that's going to give our folks more power?
Well, we got here a cylinder head intake package. Actually, it's a complete kit for any small block Chevrolet out there. This is an 18-degree small block Chevrolet head. It's 237 cc's. It features a 2150 intake valve, a 1.6 exhaust. It's got a 76 cc combustion chamber. It's got factory 23-degree exhaust location. So any header out there, it'll fit on these cylinder heads. This thing flows out of the box as cast, 330 CFM. What that equates to is 700 horsepower in your small block Chevrolet. We have a CNC version of this head that we do in-house. We CNC port. We've got 3 different port programs, and the best one goes 380 CFM. So if you want that small block to see the moon, 8,000 RPM, you got 800 horsepower plus with this kit. It features a 2-piece intake manifold, and it has 2 adapters. You've got your 4500 adapter for your 4500 Dominator carb, or you've got your 4150.
And this is going to cause a lot of craziness in the industry already. You call it mayhem, which is so appropriate.
We call it mayhem because the mouse guys have been forgotten about. And whether you put small or big in front of block, 427 cubic inches is still 427 cubic inches. When you look at a big block Chevrolet, and the General knew a lot what they were doing with the big block, the smallest head they ever put on a big block Chevrolet was 253 cc's. So this is 237. So when somebody comes to me and they've got a 23-degree head that's 220 cc's, and they think they've got a big head, they don't have a large cylinder head. This is a head that will feed that kind of cubic inch. So the mouse guys have got their revenge to create a little mayhem among the big block guys and those poor LS guys out there. And we offer this in a pump gas. We offer it in a compression type package. But what you see here is what you get when you buy the complete package. And all this comes in a very, very affordable package for any type of racing or hot rodding experience. The manifold, the head's complete, the cylinder head studs, the rocker arms, the guide plates, heads are fully assembled. You get the camshaft, you get the lifters, you get the push rods, you get all the gaskets, you get the pistons and the piston pins. On the pistons, we have a ceramic coated top. This is a line-to-line coated skirt. These are gas ported, and it features a 1.2, 3 millimeter ring pack. So this is the thin ring stuff. This is what the latest technology in ring seal and the cup guys are using, the pro stock guys. It's a thin ring pack. So you're getting the latest technology. With this package, this is a stud mount rocker system. It'll run a hydraulic roller lifter or it'll run a solid roller lifter, and everything's on center. So we keep that geometry of the valve train correct. We also added a 3/8 push rod to give it a little bit more column load, so guys wanting to run a little bit more aggressive package. But this will allow any small block Chevrolet guy, depending on RPM and cubic inch displacement, this package will start at about 650 horse, and 800 to 820 horsepower is what this package is capable of making.
You've paid attention to form and function with the Mayhem.
Yes, we have. As far as form goes, this features the double hump because that's the quintessential, most famous small block Chevrolet head, the double hump. And on the intake manifold, for function, we've already drilled and tapped it for your fog or nitrous system.
All this is beautiful, and I can tell that quality really matters at Straub Technologies. How do you ensure that quality control to make sure I'm getting the same engine that he's getting over there?
You know, we're full disclosure, so the castings are cast in China. This is a permanent mold system. Permanent mold means that they use a cast iron forging die. In the United States, we use a lot of cope and drag. Cope and drag is where they use sand. And with sand casting, you'll get a lot of core shift in the cylinder heads and stuff. So being that this is perm mold, the castings do not vary from batch to batch to batch. So it gives you a very consistent product line. The rocker arms are made for us by Harlan Sharp, US-based company. The valves come from a valve company in Brazil. The valve springs come from a US manufacturer here in the United States. We actually make the valve locks and retainers, Straub Technologies. The pistons are made in Mexico, but by United Engine Machine. Some of the gaskets are actually made right here in Tennessee, and then some of the gaskets are made in Mexico by an OE supplier. The piston rings actually come from Japan, and we use the same ring supplier that the NASCAR teams run. The push rods are made by Smith Brothers for us. And the P1 fasteners, which a lot of people probably have not heard of P1, it's a brand new performance company as far as our industry for performance fasteners. But they have been a military contractor and an OE contractor for years and years and years. So they've come into the market, and if you'll look at this stuff, it's absolutely gorgeous. It comes already prepackaged. It has the protective netting around everything. It comes with the brush, moly lube, and everything to assemble it. The camshaft I've done for years, so on the packages we do a camshaft. Now if an engine builder wants to add their own camshaft and lifter package too, we'll separate it and give them the lateral movement to be able to do what they want. But cam lifters are made for us by Morrell, another US-based company out of Cleveland, Ohio and stuff. So distributed among the Engine Pro warehouses in North America. This will be available at any engine builder that's part of their network, and then Straub Technologies. And then we even have a distributor over in Australia, Campbell Motorsports, and he got his first batch of cylinder heads we shipped out last week to him. It's kind of cool already to be worldwide.
Well, Engine Pro and Straub Technologies has searched the world over for the finest parts. You can find them in this kit. It's the Mayhem. You can find it at StraubTechnologies.com. Make gobs and gobs of power at an affordable price, by the way. We'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by DragonfireTools.com, so do not go anywhere.
Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonfireTools.com, coming to you from the Campbell's Custom Care Studio.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonfireTools.com. Now, if you are a car builder or if you've had a car restored for any length of time, you know communication is key. Now, Mike, you're here from Ion Classic to tell us that Ion Classic is the best way to document restorations. Why is it so important to have that documentation?
Documentation is key when you're doing a build or a restoration. So if you're helping a customer build his dream car, like this 33 Ford we've got here behind us, or you're just doing a repaint job or something, right? Understanding what happens at that time during that process is key. And keeping customers engaged with you as you're doing these builds and these restorations is absolutely a fabulous way to kind of make sure they understand the value of all your workmanship and craftsmanship that's being poured into these vehicles. And as you know, the cost of these vehicles these days and the cost of doing these restorations is astronomical, and making sure that it's documented well, and that documentation for Ion Classic, the way we do it is we not only help you collect all this restoration documentation, whether it's one of your shop technicians, a dozen of your shop technicians, or even people that are working on cars outside of your shop. So if you're using an upholstery shop, shall we say. All of those folks are all coordinated through the Ion Classic platform. And we put all of this material together, all this content, and whether you're doing receipts and pictures of the actual parts of the build, paint jobs, everything that you're doing. And we keep it in one place, secure and backed up in the cloud. And we coordinate all that so that the owner can follow along in real time. And I think that's really some of the key things. There's many other elements we can talk about. But the fact that we take all the pictures, all the material, we store it, we coordinate it, and then we allow them to follow along in real time. And as somebody who's been in the car business a long time, you know that if they can understand what's happening every day of their build, they're a lot happier customer.
And I've been to a lot of build shops, and from their end, they're taking a million photos, trying to keep it organized, and then maybe it goes off to paint. Well, you tell the painter, can you paint it over there, or the upholstery guy, and now you've got to figure out how to assemble all of that. You've streamlined the process, to say the least.
You're absolutely right, and I think what we found when we were talking to a lot of the shops when they're looking at this platform is that we didn't realize how much of a problem it was for them to take, store, and coordinate all these pictures from all these different sources. And customers, when they leave with their vehicles, they want all that information. They want to be able to hold it and be able to have it. And it used to be days gone by, it was a bill book. So now it's all online. And when we coordinate all that, whether it's your technicians or the technicians in something like an upholstery shop, they're all coordinated for you. And with one simple email address, and I think this is really important, for this 33 Ford, we've taken some pictures, put them online. You can see them there on the last app right there.
Yeah.
And if you click them, it'll actually show you the pictures as you scroll through them. With one simple email, we can take all of that data that's stored from that particular car as it went through the process and transfer it to the owner. Follows the owner from owner to owner to owner. And we started this as an amateur restoration person who's built cars and then sold them at auction. I thought what an advantage it would be for that next owner to have everything that I've done fully documented, which I did. It was thousands of pictures at their fingertips. And what's interesting is for them to have their friend follow along. And in the car business and in the car hobby, we all know folks that are car folks, and they want to be able to follow along and see the progress of your car.
And I see the QR codes too. When he takes his car to a show,
Yeah.
How do they use that?
This is an exciting feature we just added last year. So the app is fully integrated now with QR codes. And some people like to make them little placards, so you can basically have a placard in the windshield. Some like to use a sticker. And for shops, some of them like to have build sheets that follow the car along through the shop so the technicians find them. But what we've done is we've connected these QR codes to the builder. So now if I'm building a car and after a year, 2 years, 3 years of a restoration, and it goes out to a car show, and somebody goes, wow, I'd always dreamed of having a 33 Ford Roadster. And they hit that QR code, it brings up the app, and you'll see the full information on the actual car, so you can actually see the details of the vehicle. So you can see the owner, and you also see the shop that built it. And we think that's probably one of the biggest values is there's some amazing craftsmanship that comes out of so many of these restoration shops and builders when they're doing custom cars from scratch. How do you connect the work after it leaves the shop? And that's how we do it. We do it through these QR codes so that people in these car events and parades and car shows, they can instantly find out everything they could through the old-fashioned playbook, have it on their phone, but also get instantly connected to the shop that built it.
It's the perfect way to document your vehicle, tell your vehicle story from start to finish, whether you're the builder or the owner. This is a must-have. You can find it at ionclassic.com. And you can find more at Motorhead Garage presented by Dragonfiretools.com when we come back. Do not go anywhere.
Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonfireTools.com. Industrial workbenches with integrated tool storage. And brought to you by Amsoil, the first in synthetics. Shock Therapy, ride your way. Custom Auto Sound, the originator of classic car OEM fit radios since 1977. And by Cumberland Customs, your one-stop customs shop.
Transmissions are complex machines, and with that comes a hefty price tag if you have to repair them. Welcome to this AMS Oil Tech Tip. Here's a fact for you. You know routine fluid service and maintenance can prolong the life of your transmission? That's definitely a fact, and we believe in that here at Motorhead Garage. Here's a maintenance schedule, and you can see everything that's going on with all the maintenance. And right above there, you can see the actual transmission. You can see it at 45,000 miles, 90,000 miles, and 135,000 miles. To maintain that transmission is important. Now, how do you maintain it? Well, you can see it right here. There's a filter in the pan down there. There's an actual gasket and an oil pan. It has to flow through there to the pump. I'll show you that in a minute. But this is not an instructional video, but we're going to actually show it to you as we go. Here's how we did it. We actually removed the bolts. I like to do them from the back to the front. Leave a couple in the back so you can tip it forward so you don't take a transmission bath. All that fluid drains out. Then you just pop the filter out, put the new one in, make sure it's popped in there well so you're not sucking any air, causing any problems. Then install the bolts on, torque them to specification, but check your service manual. Every transmission's a bit different. But Len, we're all about maintenance and service here at Motorhead Garage. Why is it important to service a transmission?
Well, the fluid will degrade over time just from using it. As we talked about earlier with the transmission, the way that it works, it's tough on the fluid and you can get sediment and debris and clutch material that builds up in there. But the fluid itself has to deal with a lot of heat and a lot of stress. So it has to have a very strong building block, so the base oils are important. The additive mix, it's very important so you don't get varnish and you don't get buildup in the valve body. In fact, the Signature Series product can actually stay in there 2 times longer than the manufacturers recommend in severe service situations.
And that's huge because we're talking about wearing on the clutch packs. We're talking about varnish on the valve bodies. And you guys right here, I want to show you this. If you see this magnet right here, this is actually off a car. Man, that is goopity goop. That needs to come out of there. So make sure you service your transmission. Check them out on the website. You can buy directly from there or go find one of their representatives. You want to make sure you change your transmission fluid.
Dirt bikes, buggies, side-by-sides, 4x4s, even RVs. Those have been the rides of choice for Charlene Bauer. She is our PaintedAutoParts.com Motorhead of the Week. Now, she's been doing this her whole life, and she's been working in the off-road industry for nearly 30 years. And she is the real deal, believe me. Charlene has won the Rebel Rally and a number of other events, and she has a ton of certifications and honors too. The Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame named her the 2016 Industry Rising Star, and she also won the Hall of Fame's 2018 Advocacy Impact Award. And I bet there's a whole lot more accolades to come because Charlene now runs Bauer Motorsports Media, and she's also created the Ladies Off-Road Network. Now that includes an online series and in-person classes that give women a safe space to learn all about off-roading, from simple to complex tools, skills, and tips. You spend 5 minutes talking to Charlene and you'll see that she wants everyone to learn about and enjoy off-roading just like she does, and that makes Charlene Bauer our PaintedAutoParts.com Motorhead of the Week. Now, if you want to be Motorhead of the Week or you know someone who should be, send us a note, go to motorheadgarage.tv and tell us the story. And if you have a product you want to see featured here on the show, show it to the world. We'll get you here in the studio. We're going to do this again next week. We hope you join us then. From our entire crew here at Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonfireTools.com. We'll see you next week. Drive safely.